I'm so excited, y'all. I'm so excited. I am so excited because Nomad Cosmetics is a brand that puts together two things that I love oh so much. Travel and makeup. They put it together. Travel and makeup had a baby. They came out with a new release. I am going to tell you all about it. Let's go ahead and dive in. If you're new, hello and welcome. My name is Kelly and I love all things makeup and beauty. I love talking. I love makeup. I love talking about makeup. If you like to chat about makeup too, this is the place for you. But I have the newest release from Nomad Cosmetics and I want to play with some makeup today. Let's go ahead and get started. To create 3 looks for you today using all 3 of these little mini travel palettes that Nomad Cosmetics just released. And when I am showing you each of the looks, I will talk about each of the palettes, show you a close-up and swatches, talk about the color story. I am super excited. We have the Oslo palette right here. We also have the Abu Dhabi palette. I am having the hardest time saying Abu Dhabi today, so if I make a mistake, I apologize. And then we have the Canadian Rockies palette. I love Nomad Cosmetics. They are a brand that I have tried recently in the past couple of years. My relationship with them has grown. These were so kindly gifted to me after I reached out to Nomad Cosmetics last year asking for a code. You can use my code KBella if you want to save any money on this release or any of their releases. I do also have a whole Nomad Cosmetics playlist. So if there are any other palettes that are in my collection that you are interested in hearing more about, definitely check out that playlist down below. But I don't want to keep blabbing, because I can do that. I can blab, blab, blab. But we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna show you 3 looks. I'm gonna talk about these palettes. Let's dive in. The first palette that I want to take us into is this one right here, and this one is the Canadian Rockies palette. So the Canadian Rockies palette says, take a hike, brave the bears, and find your peak in the glorious Canadian Rockies with fresh air, pristine lakes, and moose crossings all over. Let's see what adventure awaits. So this has like your rich greens, your vibrant glacier colors, you have the lighter hues of woods and mountains, you have some mattes and some shimmers. We're gonna dive in with this one first. So I think the first shade I'm going to go into is Moose Crossing right here. I'm going to take my BK 201, which is a fluffy brush, and I'm just going to use this as like my transition, my base. I'm going in with a light hand, and I'm going to be very messy with this one just to get that lighter blend that I love. So then I'm going to take my BK 202 and I think we're going to go into this green shade right here, which is Take a Hike. My 202 is more, you know, more pointed, more defined, and we're just going to go in right below the Moose Crossing shade. And I'm going to blend this all over the crease. This would also be a really nice shade if you just wanted to put it right in that outer edge, in your outer V, to deepen up a look also. But I'm gonna take this right here through the crease. Going back in with Moose Crossing, and I'm just going to blend the edges a little bit. If you've been here for a while, you know I am a blender. I really love getting those edges. And then this part is really just like a why not. I want to take my BK 207 and go back into this green shade, which does have a little bit of a blue hue to it. And I'm using the 207 from BK Beauty because it is more dense, so you can see I can get a little bit of a deeper pigmentation there. When I used my 202 and I was blending that through the crease, it lightened it up, but now I want to like pack on the pigment right here. The amount of brushes that need cleaning in my collection is just crazy right now. This is my BK 203, and for the shimmer shade, I do want to go in with this green shade right here. I think I honestly could go in with the blue if I wanted a blue vibe with these crease shades, but because I have a green shirt on, I'm going to go in with the green, and we are going to spray my brush with Fix Plus and put this all over the lid. I am going to just press this into the lid, and this is a green shade, but it almost does look like there might be like a little hint of blue in there. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm taking the same green and a little bit of my finger, and I just want to tap this right on the very center. I feel like your finger gives it a little bit more of like that vibrant pop to it. Okay, a little bit of time has passed for me anyway, because My son is not napping, so he's out there with his grandma. My daughter's in here eating snacks with me. We are going to go ahead and finish up this look here. I'm gonna take my Sigma pencil brush, and I think I'm just gonna dip into these two shades that I used in the crease together and use those to run underneath the lower lash line. So the next palette that I'm going to use is the Oslo Travel Edition, this beauty right here. And it says, explore the capital of democratic design from its practical and stylish fashion to the functional and striking architect as we head to the trendy and happening Oslo. So this is a mix of shimmery silver and metallic dusty pink with cool taupe and beige. This is going to be great for natural, minimal, cool toned looks. I am really excited about this one. This is definitely my kind of vibe here. My kind of vibe. I'm just going to be using my Sigma switch to clean off my brushes in between because I'm going to use probably the same brushes. So again, my BK, this is the 201, and I'm going to go into this shade Minimal, and I'm going to kind of follow the same type of like technique that I did over on this eye, just with different shades. Now this Minimal shade is very, very light. I can see it's almost like a cool tone gray type of vibe. I'm trying to see. I really think I want to use this shade. Like, it is stunning. Going into my BK202, and I'm going to go into this shade right here in Natural, which looks like it has a little bit of a rosy vibe to it. And I'm going to put this right in the crease. Then I'm taking my BK207, and I am going to take this deeper shade right here in Functional and put that in this outer V section to create a little bit of depth. I'm gonna flip over my BK203 and use the side that I didn't use before, and I wanna go into Democratic Design. The Nordic Cool almost looks like more of a silver shade, but then you have this like dusty pink with Democratic Design, very cool toned. So I'm excited to try that out. I sprayed my brush with Fix Plus, and I'm just going to put this right here on the lid. That is a beautiful, beautiful shade. Doing the same thing where I take a little bit on my finger and pressing that right here as well. Using another pencil brush, I kind of want to go into this one just to use, this is practical, just to use a different shade and run that along the lower lash line. And I'll probably take a touch of this deeper shade and put that in the outer V as well. Since these are little minis, they don't necessarily have like a highlight shade or something like that that I would like to put in the inner corner, and I want something very blingy. So recently, Amy from Amy Loves Makeup did a collab with Adept Cosmetics, and so I'm gonna dip into here and go into the Lights Up shade, and I have been loving that shade for an inner corner. So I feel like it, you know, it transforms. So over here, it looks a little bit more green blue, and then over here, it works well with those rosy tones. So let's go ahead, add some mascara, and see what we're looking like. Here are the two looks here. So we have the Oslo palette on this side, and then we have the Canadian Rockies over here. These are the two looks. Why don't we go ahead? We have one more palette to play with. Let's jump into it. Then we have the Abu Dhabi palette. This one, y'all, if you are a warm toned lover, you are going to love this one. So the Abu Dhabi palette is a desert oasis. From the colors of the souks and smells of the spice market to the meditative golden hour that enfolds the rising dunes and endless sands, join us as we experience magical Abu Dhabi. You have your warm neutrals, so it's supposed to be like rich spices, deserts, sunset hues, golden hour, the works. I'm excited to dip into this one today. Let's get started. One thing that I think is really cool about this palette is I feel like these three shades go together very well, and these three shades go together very well. I'm gonna dip into this one, Rising Dunes, with my BK202, and I am going to put this one all over the crease. I don't typically go for orange tones very much, so I think I'm gonna stick to the top row today. This is a tip for my hooded eye friends, especially this eye here. Like, the older I get, the more hooded they get. And oftentimes, like when I'm doing my makeup, you know, I feel like, okay, I'm going in the crease, I have my eyebrows up, and then it's like I open my eye and you can see nothing. So if you relax your face and just take the brush, and I'm holding it like kind of pointing downward, but pulling up on that crease shade. And I feel like that really helps to lift the shadow up higher. I have small eyes in general, so I don't have a ton of space to work with, but pulling it upward means that I'm going to be able to see a little bit of this beautiful crease shade when my eyes are open. Then I'm gonna go in with, this is just Tapered Blending E40 from Sigma, and I'm gonna go into this shade right here in Souks and Bazaars. I hope I'm saying that right. And I'm just going to use this to buff out that edge. I don't really feel like it was super necessary. I feel like my blend is fine, but just, you know, to use another shade, why not? Okay, I'm gonna do something that I feel like I don't do very often because it's difficult for me with my small eyes. We're gonna do a halo eye, and the Singe E01 brush is the perfect like tapered brush for me to really get in the inner and outer part of my eye. And so I wanna dip into this shade right here in Endless Sand, which is a matte. And I'm going to focus this on the outer part of my eye and also the inner part, leaving that middle section blank for the shimmer. And I'm going to keep the shimmer just in that middle section. And I want to see, it's hard for me to do because I just really have small eyes, but we're going to do the best we can here. Of course, I'm gonna go in with my BK 203, my favorite for the lid, and I'm gonna go into this more pinky shade in Golden Hour, and I'm gonna spray it with Fix Plus before putting that on the lid. I feel like the shimmers that I used in the other two palettes picked up just fine on the brush. However, Golden Hour was giving me a little bit of trouble. I mean, it got on there. I don't know if it's more of a like chunkier formula, so I'm just gonna take my pinky and kind of press it right into the middle, and then I'll use my brush to like blend it out. You can't really tell too much that it's a halo eye because my eyes are so small, but it's giving a little bit of halo. And then of course, what I always do, my pencil brush, I'm gonna dip back into this Rising Dunes shade and put that all over the lower lash line. And then I'll take that deeper shade, Endless Sands, and put it just in the outer part of my lower lash line to give a little bit of depth and dimension to that outer corner. I feel like I could probably use that as an inner corner, but y'all know I like to sparkle, so let me grab my Adept Amy Loves palette. I am looking for that inner corner to sparkle and shine. I'm gonna take this pink shade on my pinky and pop that right into the inner corner. I thought the pink would, I mean Lights Up would totally work too, but I thought the pink would work here because these are, I don't know, little rosy tones. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some mascara on, and then I'll show you the finished look. And so here is the finished look with the Abu Dhabi palette. This lip combo here is BK Warm Spice, and then this is Ofra Cosmetics LOML, Love of My Life, I believe. This was a collab or a favorite with Hot Mess Mama MD. So that's my lip combo. I also did not mention my lip combo, I think, with the first two looks, and it was Lunar Beauty. Lunar Beauty Icon Lip Liner with the Lanny collab between Lunar Beauty and Laura Lee Los Angeles. But let's go ahead, I'm gonna zoom you out, and we're gonna talk about these palettes. Okay, so these little travel palettes are so stinking cute. I love the design of all of them. I love the color story on all of them. I also really love the way that Nomad creates these little cards that they put with each of their releases. This is a little airline ticket, Nomad Air. I thought that was super cute, round the world. And I just honestly, I am into a smaller palette right now. Of course, I have larger palettes that I love, but the thing I love about smaller palettes is they're easy to travel with, okay? These are travel palettes. I did not get the first travel palette that Nomad came out with, but Nomad was kind enough to gift me these three, and I was super duper excited to get my hands on them and to try it out. And I do just want to say, like, Nomad Cosmetics, first of all, is an amazing brand. They always have a cause that they are supporting with their releases. This time with these three palettes, they are a proud supporter of Sustainable Travel International, so I am going to have that listed down below if you want to learn more about that. But the thing about Nomad Cosmetics is I reached out to them, y'all. I reached out to them last year after purchasing and trying some of their palettes, and I asked if I could have a coupon code. That is how the code KBellaBeauty came about. You can definitely use that to save money on any of your Nomad purchases, but in our relationship growing and talking more and me making more purchases, they were so kind to add me to their PR list. So that is why I got to try these out today. I have to say, if I'm going to mention a favorite, okay? We're going by color story. I think all of these have the great Nomad quality. The mattes you can see in the videos, super blendable. The shimmers were amazing, but if I had to pick a favorite, it would have to go to the Oslo palette. This is just my color story right now. Like, this is what I'm into. You have 4 mattes and 2 shimmer shades. I feel like with Nomad, a lot of times they are matte heavy. I tend to be a shimmer girl, a shimmer lover, but I really like in these smaller palettes how you do get 2 different shimmers and then a variety of mattes. I also really like how, like, the bottom row goes together, the top row goes together, but then you can mix and match. This is a color story that I feel like I'm going to get a ton of use out of. And then I would have to say my second favorite would be the Abu Dhabi palette. I think this one is amazing. I really like these 3 shades right here and the look that it created. I think that this will be great for like a beautiful bronzed look in the summer, and hello, summertime is here. And then we have this Canadian Rockies palette. Y'all just, you know, blues are not my thing. Okay, my girl Heather Austin keeps telling me stop saying that I don't like blues or that I can't wear blues, because she's like, you look so beautiful when you wear them. Thank you so much. But blues just aren't a color that I feel super comfortable in. I did really enjoy the screen shade. I do want to play with these blues right here. Like, I do want to play with it. They look beautiful. The thing I will say about these eyeshadows is I feel like the formula of the shimmers has been different in different eyeshadow palettes, but I really do enjoy the shimmer formula in these palettes here. I feel like they were super easy to work with. The one that I wore on my lid today out of the Abu Dhabi palette was a little bit more difficult to work with than the other 2 palettes, and I feel like it was just a little bit more of a chunkier shimmer, so my finger worked better. But I was able to create beautiful looks with these 3 palettes. I definitely feel like I would recommend them. And if you're just into a minimalist era like myself, I mean, listen, my makeup collection is not quite minimal. I have plenty, but these smaller palettes, they really are great for travel. They really are great to take in your bag, carry with you. Even if you're just traveling, listen, where you live, if you're doing a staycation, grab these, throw them in your bag. I think they are super cute. Thank you so much to Nomad Cosmetics for sending these to me. I would love to know down below, which look was your favorite? Are you going to pick any of these up? Please let us know. Otherwise, that's gonna do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.